Hello and welcome. In my last video, I mentioned that prompting isn't about memorizing phrases. It's a skill like writing or driving. And like any skill, it gets better with practice. The engineer behind Claude Code, Boris Cherny from Anthropic, recently gave a talk on this topic. What stood out to me was he didn't share any of those long, complicated prompts you see all over the internet. Instead, he focused on a few simple habits, the same ones that people building these AI tools use every day. I'll walk you through them today. They all come back to one basic idea: what changes how you work with AI. Once you understand it, you get better results from Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, and most other tools. Let's get started. Allow me to give you a little background on Boris, so you know why I'm pointing to him. He built Claude Code, and he works at Anthropic, the company that makes Claude. About 80% of the technical staff there use these tools every day. To give you a sense of the difference it makes, training a new engineer used to take 2 to 3 weeks. Now it takes 2 to 3 days. So when he talks about how to work with AI, he's speaking from real everyday experience. If you'd like to watch this full talk, I'll put a link in the description below. It runs about 27 minutes and is aimed at engineers. So I pulled out the parts that matter most for everyday use. His talk was about Claude Code, which is a tool for programmers. But nearly everything he said is really just about how to talk to AI. And that works the same way in the ordinary chat window you're probably already using. Here's the idea everything else rests on. Stop treating AI like a search engine and start treating it like a coworker. Think of it this way. When you use Google, you type in the exact words and you get exactly what you asked for. But when you hand a task to a capable coworker, you don't do that. You don't stand over their shoulder and walk them through 14 exact steps. You tell AI what you're trying to accomplish, give it the background it needs, and let it figure out the best way to get there. Every habit I'm about to show you is simply one part of that. Habit 1, tell the outcome, not every step. Here's a mistake most of us make at the start, myself included. You might think you have to spell out every step, like open this file, read these notes, compare them, make an outline, then summarize it. It feels thorough, but not how experienced users work. They tell it where they want to end up. Let me show you what I mean. If I wanted help writing a YouTube video, the beginner approach would be to give the AI a long list of step-by-step instructions. The better version is a single sentence. I want beginner-friendly YouTube script explaining how to write better AI prompts. Research the topic, pull out the most important ideas, organize them in a logical outline, then write it in a natural tone. Notice what I didn't do. I never told it how to solve the problem. I explained what a good result looks like. This was one of Boris's main points. Claude already knows how to analyze information, compare ideas, organize them, and summarize. You don't need to explain every single step. Just give it the goal and let it figure out the best way to get there, just like you would with a coworker. Here's the easiest way to show AI what you want. Don't describe it, give it an example. If you want an email in a certain style, paste it in one of your own and say, write it like this. If you want a summary that follows a particular format, paste an example of the format you like. Giving the AI an example is usually more effective than trying to explain it. With one quick paste, it can see exactly what you want instead of guessing from a long description. This is a simple habit, but it's one of the easiest ways to get better results. Most people don't think to do this. Habit 2, give it context, then save it. Now, telling it the outcome doesn't mean telling it nothing. If anything, it's the opposite. You give it fewer instructions, but more context. Who is this for? Why are you doing it? How long should it be? What tone are you after? What does the finished piece need to do? Context helps the AI make good decisions when you aren't there to guide every choice. It's just like any coworker. The more they understand the situation, the fewer questions they need to ask. Many people overlook this part. You don't have to retype all that every time. You can write your context down once, including who you are, how you like things done, and what to avoid, and have AI read it automatically before it does anything. In the regular ChatGPT app, that's what projects and custom instructions are for. You set them up once, and every new chat already has that information. In Claude Code, it's a file called Claude MD. It works the same way. It's just a simple text file where you keep the information Claude should always know. The idea is same no matter which tool you use. Set up the context once, and you don't have to keep explaining the same things every time you start a new conversation. The real benefit is that it saves time and gives you more constant results. One quick useful tip before we move on. AI chats can only keep so much information in memory. As the conversation gets longer, the model may start forgetting things you said earlier or repeating itself. When that starts happening, don't fight it. Just begin a new chat. This is also why saving your context is so useful. You can paste that important information into the new conversation and pick up where you left off without having to explain everything again. Habit 3, plan before you build. This one is simple, but it can make a big difference. Instead of asking AI to jump straight into the task, have it make a plan first. For example, you could say, before you write anything, give me 3 ways you could approach this. Tell me which one you'd choose and why. Then wait for it to say go. That gets AI thinking before it starts producing. It's the same workflow Boris recommends, and it's how he approaches larger tasks himself. One of the easiest ways to get the wrong result is to let AI build everything before you agree on the direction. Take a minute to review the plan first. If it looks good, tell it to go ahead. It's exactly what you do with a coworker. Make sure both agree on the plan before anyone started the work. Habit 4. Give it a way to check its own work. This next one is worth paying attention to because it isn't obvious. Boris pointed out that AI improves noticeably when you give it a way to review its own results. In plain terms, don't just ask for something and accept the first answer. Give it a way to check whether it got it right, and then let it try again. So instead of write me this, you say, write me this, then compare it against what I asked for and fix anything that's off. The work goes from pretty good to almost right, and the AI makes those corrections itself. In Claude Code, it can go further because the tool can actually run what it made. Check if it worked and fix it. In the regular chat, you can't run code that way, but you can still ask it to check its answers against your request and tidy it up. It's the same idea, and it still improves the result. This is especially important if you're using AI for real work. It can be wrong, and it often sounds just as confident when it's wrong as when it's right. It won't tell you when it's guessing. So if you're relying on a number, a name, or a fact that actually matters, don't just accept the first answer. Ask it to double check and make sure you verify anything that's important before you use it. Here's a simple habit that can help you catch mistakes. If an answer really matters, run it by a different AI. If you used Claude, ask ChatGPT. If you started with ChatGPT, try Claude. If they give you different answers, that's a sign to slow down and check more carefully. If they agree, that's reassuring, but it still doesn't prove they're right. Different AI models can make the same mistake. For anything serious, such as legal advice, medical information, or financial decisions, check a reliable source or speak with a qualified professional. You can always ask the AI to work through the problem first, then review its answer for mistakes before showing it to you. That extra check can help improve the results, but you should still verify anything important yourself. Habit 5, start asking questions. Here's the last habit, and it's probably the easiest one to put into practice. Before you ask AI to create something, spend a few minutes asking it questions. The reason might surprise you. It's not only about planning your project, it's also about learning what the AI is good at, where it struggles, and how it responds. You can't break anything by asking questions, so experiment with it. See how it thinks, where it does well, and where it needs a bit more guidance from you. The more you use it this way, the better you'll get at knowing what to expect, and the better your prompts will become. Boris recommends that new engineers spend some time asking questions about the code base before they change anything. The same idea works when you're using Claude or ChatGPT. Spend a little time asking questions first, so you get a little feel for what AI does well and where it struggles and how it responds. By the time you ask it to tackle something bigger, you'll know how to give it much better instructions. There's a lot more to this than just these 5 habits. Boris also talked about advanced techniques, like automating bigger workflows and having multiple AI tools work together. But that's a topic for another day. It's not where you need to start. Get comfortable with these 5 habits first. Once they become second nature, the more advanced techniques will make a lot more sense. If you noticed, all these habits point in the same direction. Spend less time telling the AI exactly how to solve the problem and more time helping it understand what you're trying to solve. So if you remember just one thing from this video, let it be this. Don't worry about writing the perfect prompt. Focus on explaining what you're trying to accomplish. Tell the AI what you want, who is it for, and what a good result looks like. Give it enough context to understand the job, then let it do what it's good at. That's the shift. And once you start thinking that way, you'll get better results from almost any AI you use. And don't expect the first answer to be perfect. It usually won't be, and that's completely normal. The first response isn't the finish line. It's the starting point. If something isn't right, tell the AI what's off. Too formal, you missed the part about refunds. Cut it in half. Then let it try again. The best results rarely come from one perfect prompt. They come from a bit of back and forth. Just like working with a person. You give feedback, it makes changes, and together you end up with something better. I'd like to hear from you. Which one of these 5 will you try first? Let me know in the comments. I read them all. And if it was helpful, consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one.